Hello everybody and welcome to the Rue Roundup. My name is Lauren Anderson and I'm joined today by Chelsea Engstrom, a UNews staff writer. Today we're going to be discussing a protest that occurred on April 11th at a speech given by Michael Knowles put on by Young Americans for Freedom. The speech caused quite the riot and Chelsea's here to give us more insight on the matter. So Chelsea, what exactly was the topic of this speech that made students so angry?
So the speech was entitled "Men Are Not Women," and I think that, because we have such a large LGBTQIA presence on campus, that many students, particularly the trans students, just felt very invalidated by this and very angry that, their campus would, have a person give a speech like that there.
Yeah. So what exactly was the protest? What was the plan for it?
So I personally was not involved in the protest and I was not asked to be involved, but I did find a screenshot that was floating around social media that Michael Knowles actually had and ended up calling protesters out at the very beginning of his speech. Mm-hmm. But the plan was that they would LGBTQIA students and allies would register for this event, show up to this event, and then between 5 and 10 minutes of the start of the speech, there would be a phone alarm that would sound, and then all of the protesters would stand up silently, leave the venue, and then move to the university walkway where the first annual Diversity and Inclusion Bash was going on. Obviously, if anyone's seen the video, that's not what happened. But for the most part, the protest remained super peaceful. It did get disruptive, but that's their right as far as protesting and civil disobedience goes.
Yeah.
So even though it didn't go according to plan, all of the students that were a part of the protest conducted themselves, completely fine, legally,
Yeah, it is understood that a student was taken down during the protest. Why was the student taken down by security, and has the student been identified?
So the student that was taken down by police, I've been told by multiple students who were part of that protest that she was not part of the plan. This protest was in no way linked to that student's actions as far as I have been told. So the student was Alexis Dabu, who we first identified as Gerard Dabu, and we used he, him pronouns, but she is a trans student, and we were given an incorrect name, but she did reach out to us, and we fixed that. But from what I can tell from the video, she came in from outside of the lecture hall when police started to move protesters out of the building. She came in with a squirt gun full of glitter, lavender oil, and then some other soapy household kind of things, and had all that in a squirt gun and squirted Michael Knowles in the face. So with essentially what the Kansas City Star called the makings of a bubble bath.
So how did Michael Knowles react to this protest?
If I'm being quite honest, in the video, he looks like he's enjoying it, like he's really enjoying the tension, but
kind of egging it on.
Yeah, he definitely did start to heckle the protesters because he started to say some very transphobic things, and people in the audience started to boo him, and he started to heckle back at them. So he was very much playing on their emotions. Mm-hmm. But afterwards, he didn't freak out on stage. He was just kind of a little shocked, some student just squirted me with something, is I think along the lines of what he said.
Yeah.
And first he called it paint, then it was bleach, then it was an odorous substance made to smell like bleach, and then police later concluded that it was just lavender oil and glitter and soap. So totally harmless.
So after they did the walkout and they went to what you said was a diversity bash, or
That was the counter event that was being held across campus at the University Walkway. I was actually there for the beginning of it, but I did leave about halfway through. It is also my understanding that because of the weather, because it was so cold that day, they ended up closing up early, but still they were just going to walk out.
And what happened there?
At the diversity bash? Oh my gosh, it was a lot of fun. There were like 24 student organizations that showed up to table. It was put on by LGBTQIA Affairs. So, you know, we have Pride Alliance there, a couple of the fraternities were there. I'm not very familiar with Greek life on campus, but I think like SIGEP was there, Office of Student Involvement, Women's Center, College Democrats. There were like 24 organizations there in total, just to, you know, show support for diversity and inclusion, things that our university is built on. And there was pizza, they had Kona Ice there, they were playing music, and it was just a great time and a lot of really great energy going on, and it was very positive. So I think the students, particularly those that felt targeted by this man's speech, really benefited from that, because I mean, I did. I liked having that to counter the negativity going on the other end of campus.
Yeah, so this protest made nationwide news. How's the chancellor dealing with the attention, and how does he feel about the protest?
I can't speak to what Chancellor Agrawal personally feels about it. I believe that his statement was pretty well crafted. I mean, he said, you know, very clearly that, you know, we support our LGBTQIA students. We want our students to feel welcomed and included. And like I said, our university is built on diversity and inclusion and, you know, all those things that make for a vibrant campus. But at the same time, he did, you know, say that there's a need for free speech, and he even explained that we are a public university, we receive government funding, so we have to keep the floor open for everybody with every opinion to speak their part. And I personally felt that the statement was sufficient, or maybe not sufficient. I don't know that sufficient is the right word. I think it got his point across pretty clearly. Some people at the state level apparently disagree. There are a couple senators and representatives that were, you know, very upset that apparently in their eyes, they don't think that Chancellor Agrawal has responded properly. And I really think that he's doing what he can. You know, he has removed Alexis from campus. She has been suspended. She's not allowed to come on campus right now. She claims she is facing expulsion for her actions, and she will also be facing legal actions for them. I don't really know what they expect him to do. Like,
Yeah, that's about all he can do.
Go after her himself. Yeah. And he did say that, you know, we have to maintain an environment for everyone to say their piece. I just don't know how many more words I can say it without, you know, him actually coming out and taking a side, which I think would be inappropriate for him to do as our chancellor.
Yeah.
He addressed both sides very well, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea. That's all we have this evening. Thank you for listening to the Rue Roundup, and we'll be back next week with more of the campus news.